My name is Rhapsody, welcome back to Slay the Spire. We're going to be playing a game mode that is not the daily climb in this episode. I know, they said it could not be done, and yet here we are. So, well, hang on, not endless, sorry about that. We're going to be popping on the Ironclad. Ironclad? No, we did Ironclad last time, let's do Silent. A Silent Ascension 20 sealed deck that also enables the final act, just in case. Might be worth it. So I'm kind of wanting to do this as a little bit of a palate cleanser. I have done a lot of dailies recently, and the dailies that I've enjoyed the most out of them have oftentimes been the sealed deck dailies, so feel like it might be a good idea to do some sealed deck stuff. So immediately looking at this, what I see is garbage. Just a lot of garbage. There's very little defense available. There's one in the leg sweep, one in the cloak and dagger. Another one in piercing wail, although exhaust, and then dash. So I feel like we're probably, because the deck also doesn't look particularly aggressive with any of these, we're probably actually incentivized to pick up each and every single one of those. That said, only three of them work on decks, and two of them are quite expensive, so things like footwork aren't going to be particularly impactful for us. Footwork is at its most impactful when you're playing a lot of very small defensive cards, so if you still have things like defend in your deck. Obviously, something that I'm looking at every single time that I get a screen like this with the Silent, I'm thinking, what are the archetypes for the Silent in general? Can I see any of them obviously represented here? So can I see poison represented here? Not really. There's a poison stab, there's 2 deadly poisons down here and 2 banes. You could make a deck that just has defense, deadly poisons, and banes in order to use those for the damage just for the start here. But with as few defensive cards as we possibly have in the deck, I feel like strategies that rely even in part on poison are relying on a longevity of a fight that they cannot guarantee. So secondly, are there shivs? Well, there's one shiv card and then there's a shiv card power up. So no, there are no shivs in this deck. So those are 2 of the easiest ones to identify. Is there discard? I mean, there is a dagger throw, there is a sneaky strike, and there is, I think 2 copies are prepared. Yeah, one down here and then one up the top. And another copy of dagger throw. Still not that great. If I was using that as a damage engine, the dagger throw sneaky strike synergy, I'd probably be more likely to run the deadly poisons and banes instead. Leg sweep is essential, so leg sweep is coming with us almost regardless of what deck we take. I feel like dash is very likely to be a card like that as well, primarily due to the fact that if we're going to be wanting to fight elites this first floor, and we are, then dash is particularly helpful. Yeah, there's a 4 elite path. We probably shouldn't turn that down. Definitely dash. I think definitely piercing wail as well. It's premium defense. Cloak and dagger is a little bad to take just because it's another thing that has defense attached to it. I may want to take both of these footworks and then take every copy of dodge and roll that I find. Dodge and roll is a common card for the Silent, so it's pretty likely that I managed to find one. As well as there's this early shop, so that's an extra little push in that direction. Yeah, I think I will take both of the footworks for that reasoning, rather. There's 5 cards in the deck. So think of this in terms of kind of like packages, right? Do I put in the poison package? 2 deadly poisons, 2 banes, possibly even a poison stab? Do I put in the, I guess, energy build, which is just like all of these flying knees? Do I put in some AoE with the dagger sprays, or do I eschew that entirely? I feel like I probably turned down AoE here on the first floor. Like, I think I do go deadly poison, bane, bane, and the poison stab. All right. So this deck has a little bit higher of a requirement for energy than a lot of decks typically would. Not only due to the fact that it doesn't have a 0 cost card and it's got 2 cost cards, like that's a little bit of it, but the largest part of it is our defense cards cost 2. So if we want to do impactful things on the same turns as we play our defensive cards, then we're going to want to be able to do things like deadly poison and bane, or deadly poison, or bane, bane. Like, really, in order to get enough value after defending, because we haven't got small defense, we're going to need more energy so we can use more afterwards. Excuse me. Footwork dash. Easy. If I can avoid any and all damage, I will do it. And again, I feel like a lot of our opening turns are going to be kind of relatively similar to that. That is to say, play a footworks, play one of the defends, play another footworks, play another one of them. Okay. Definitely nothing in there that actually helps solve any of my problems. Okay, so Noxious Fumes is useful here. And it does kind of work a little with what we've got. It gives us a little bit of access to AoE, as well as the ability to remove artifacts from enemies without having to use valuable things like weakness or loss of strength or poison from better poison sources. Yeah, we'd probably take it. I am a little sad that we haven't found a single defensive there, though. I may be able to take the risk of the regret just because we're in Ascension 20, but we did have a sealed deck to start with, so we are starting at a much higher power level than we typically would be. Oh, the specimen. Whenever an enemy dies, transfer any poison it has to a random enemy. That is really powerful. And then I immediately just remove the regret from the deck. Holy heck. So I could take a safety play here and go for a rest, then a rest. Getting a couple of upgrades here. No. I should probably already be fine. Let's be real. Excellent. That's exactly what we needed. Although I guess we do have 12 cards in the deck and we draw 7 in the opening hand, so we were always going to end up with that result, but still. Still pleased with it. Unfortunate to see both of my defenses go by. At the very least, our deck is thin enough that we could have seen them again there. Despite the fact we didn't. Leg sweep. Alright, so what? I had 41 HP coming into this fight. So I think I did just lose the... Yeah, that starting hit. That makes sense. Quebec's Phantasmal new. Regal Pillow was kind of useful. It's unfortunate it's not useful on this path, though. It's kind of when it matters. Deadly Poison Bane is sometimes the right move. I was trying to find out how best should I defend myself here to be in the best position for the next turn, but no. Just kill him. Deflects. It helps mitigate a couple of a little bit of our energy concerns and gives us a card that benefits from footwork. It's got everything that we're looking for right now. It's Brondo, we're plants. Unfortunately, the Gremlin Knob is a... yeah. You know what I mean? Like that kind of fight. Thankfully, with Dash and Leg Sweep in the deck, we could be okay. Yeah, it looks like we'll be fine. Probably Dash next hand. There we go. Beautiful. Heck, we only ended up actually taking 1 damage out of that entire fight. Stone Calendar, the end of turn 70, or 25 it was? 52, sorry. Damage to all enemies. Just accidentally gave that one a bit of a flipsy in my head. Take a Wall-Laid Plants here. Just useful to have one. Turnip, you can only become Frail. Okay. We don't defend much at all yet, but I guess that's good for the future possibilities of me defending. It's just not particularly exciting because it doesn't have, you know, like immediate or obvious relevance to us. Dodge and roll, finally. Damn it. Well, Blur is useful with the 2 footworks, so we still take it, but dodge and roll, please. Oh, Stone Calendar has a lot of work it could do for us in this fight. I have to play this footwork into the deflect here rather than playing leg sweep. So I will take 2 damage this turn, which I could have avoided, but I get the extra footwork out, and getting that extra footwork out will help me, hopefully, defend significantly on this turn. And in fact does. Even managed to get a piercing wail through, so don't have to take all of that damage. Come on, hit a dash. Dash and blur, yeah, that'll do. I mean, that's kind of like gold standard. I'm amazed that that's what we got. And let's sweep immediately thereafter. Although our next turn is going to be absolutely awful. Actually, I think it'll be fine, right? The end of turn 6. No, it's the end of turn 7. Right, of course. This used to glow on turn 6 and then do at the start of turn 7 or something like that, if I recall correctly. It was strange. But now it looks like it tracks perfectly and correctly. Alright. Fine. Did turn out we needed that for the kill, but at the very least, by taking 1 unit off the field, I had less that I had to deal with at a time on each turn. Nothing there that I desperately want with this archetype of deck. Oh, come on! This is the kind of thing that annoys me. Like, that's a giant hit. And I just can't really do anything about that right now. I just gotta eat it. Oh. Awful. At least they didn't do it again. This could have been much more tragic. Let's retain a leg sweep here. So if I poison and bane, that's 14, 14, 9, 23. Okay, 14, 9, 23. That's fine. All right, good. Looks like we're getting out of this fight. So it depends on what elite is up next as to whether or not we're okay. There are certain elites we should be able to kill in no damage at all, but not that many of them. Ooh, block potion is useful, and so is backflip. Okay, those two could actually carry us through a not great elite fight, but this is a pretty good elite for us. Do I want Noxious Fumes out there yet? Yes. Next turn is very likely to be footwork, possibly well-laid plans as well. If not, at least one of them. Yeah. So that's already all of my powers out, and then I still have like a reasonably impactful opening turn. That's good enough for me. Just gonna keep stacking up that poison for a while. Sweet poison. Do I deflect blur? I think I do. Save the bane for the next turn. Fortunately, I can't guarantee the enemy's weakened this turn, but at the very least, I'm already safe regardless. Okay, got him weakened for the next turn at the very least. And heck, we've actually probably got lethal. Beautiful. Oh, I really thought we weren't going to be surviving at that point. Yeah, I'm not taking Wraith Form. The fight is already planned, especially against bosses, to be long and drawn out. So I don't want my defense really just getting worse over time. Like, yeah, I can hold it with well-laid plans until exactly the right time. Should I take it for that reason? I should. It's just correct to take it for that reason, but still, blah. I may want to cut one of those Banes now. It's not a Bane, it's a Poison Stab, right? It's a Bane. Maybe if the Bane was upgraded, it'd be Bane stays, goes Poison Stab, but we go the inverse. Now, anything that helps us get the poison faster is going to be the most important thing that we can do here. So, Noxious Fumes. But that said, Noxious Fumes is also important because the AoE for the next floor is going to be important. I don't want to have to rely on Stone Calendar, especially because the deck isn't particularly great at being defensive. I'm very hopeful that I get the enemy down this turn, apparently. Should have expected that and set up the footwork last turn. I have to keep one of the normal defensive cards rather than a Wraith form now, unfortunately. Piercing Whale. I mean, the next turn the enemy does do a double attack, so at the very least that should make sure we're safe against that. Trying to make sure that I stack poison. Meanwhile, I keep backflip there over dash because I knew that the next hand had leg sweep, so I knew that I wasn't going to be able to cast dash. All right. So this is a whole run of just squeaking by constantly. I mean, it works for me, though. Beautiful. I mean, heck, the enemy's already dead. Lovely. So we could afford all of those extra risks. Very barely, but we could. Orbs Explosion. That's just, it's just help with our AoE. Yeah, I guess. Yikes. None of these help fix our energy problems. You know, the primary problem. I'll just take the best one, draw an extra card each turn, rather than getting the 2 extra cards in the opening hand. I think this deck is slow enough to actually benefit from that. Hell yeah. That'd be like all of the best poison that we could have had in our opening hand. I'll accept it pretty gladly. Come on, take 2 turns off attacking me. I don't want to. Ugh, yikes. Well, I'm pleased as hell that I could, you know, ruin the enemy's incoming attack there. It's really frustrating they can do that on turn 3 as well. It has many a time caused a death. It's just like super divergent between when they open the fight by doing the attack on turn 1, so that's in, you know, any ascension except for above, what, 17, right? So when they open by doing the double attack, then the hex, and then they try and weaken you, and then they try and give you a big weaken debuff, and then they finally attack you. Oh, those are just the best encounters. That said, you know, I think the Parasite fight is still probably more divergent, although that's mainly based on draw. I could take Bane here, but I think I actually will take 1 upgraded Bane. In view of the Bane that I lost earlier. Feels like a Fear Potion might actually be useful here, but I'll try and get through without it. Just because it feels like that would also be incredibly important against a Slavers fight. Throw the vulnerability on one of the targets, hit them with the Corpse Explosion, take them down really quickly, everyone dies. A good time. Ouch. Yeah, this is what happens when you don't have enough energy in order to play, you know, any of your defense cards. And also when you don't want the enemy to run away with all of your money. Sucker Punch, it does apply to weakness, but in this deck, like, with 3 hands from shuffling, right? 3 hands from shuffling, which is to say 6 card hands, so 3 hands. And then 1 exhaust, 2 exhaust, 3, 4, 5. At least 5 exhausts, depends on whether or not I play Piercing Wail or Wraithform for 7. So yeah, this deck cycles really, really quickly. And usually when the fight is actually going, Leg Sweep is every second hand, and it applies to weak. So I don't need extra weakness in the deck. If you were really, like if the deck was much thicker than that, and you were still, you know, unable to account for having weakness on the enemy every single turn, then you might take that in a desperation play. I could take a deflect here again. Again, for the same reason, helps me deal with the fact that I am a little low on mana. And by a little, I mean a lottle. Chrysalis could actually be interesting. Shuffle 3 random skills into your draw pile. They cost 0 this combat. Upgrade to 5. Having 5 random 0 cost skills in my deck. You know what? I don't get to do that often. That might be fun. That could be a good time. Let's do it. Just a shame there's a shop in a couple spaces more. Alright. Should actually be able to wait for my Stone Calendar to polish this turn off for me. Playing Chrysalis next is actually going to be really good because it shuffles them only into my draw pile, which is 0. So it just means my draw pile is all 0 cost skills. That said, I definitely have to play Bane this turn, right? Not Bane, sorry, Dash. Yeah, I have to. Damn it! No real choice on that one, unfortunately. Unless, of course, I was okay with dying. I feel like I probably will take this rest rather than this elite. Because the Regal Pillar will be able to get us kind of like totally back on track. Sweet. Okay, let's go for a crippling, outmaneuver. Throw in a deflect for fun. And sure, I'll hold on to the Wraithform just in case they both decide to go absolutely berserk on the same turn. Not gonna put it past them. Lovely. Ends the next turn immediately and just watch them kind of double die. Yeah, 194 damage dealt to the backliner at that time. Pretty good. Take any of those. Another Noxious Fumes, but it's up against a Backflip. Backflip is a little more important now that I have 0 cost cards in the deck as a result of the Chrysalis, but also as a result of these 2 deflects. It's going to get more important if I manage to find just straight up any at all way to increase my energy. Okay, any good way to do it. I'm not going to use outmaneuver. It's not good. Yeah, neither of these are actually good for us. I guess we can take the Special Relic. We don't really want to transform 2 cards in the deck right now, unless I guess it would be like Bane and Poison Stab. But then even if I transform them, what would I transform them into, right? Like, it's only really worth if I'm transforming basic cards like Strikes and Defense. Take the Special Relic, I guess. That's 3 extra strength on turn 1. It is worth absolutely nothing to pretty much anyone. What an opener. I kind of want to stop that 10 damage right now. Okay. Ooh, damn it. If only the Gremlin Leader was resummoning on that turn. Oh, wow. This Gremlin Leader is real mad. It's like constantly going for me. Singling me out, almost. It's as if I'm the only target on the field. They only have eyes for me. I'll keep the Wraith Form because I feel like we're probably within the realm where we can just play it and win. When I say I feel like we're probably within the realm, I mean we are. Next turn I just play Bane and then wait. I actually might need to use something else as well. Just to make sure everyone dies. Calibers at the start of your turn lose 15 block rather than all of it. That is ridiculously powerful. Bullet time is a way to increase our energy, and we get to hold it in hand with well-laid plans. And once we upgrade it, we can play Black Vips before it. That said, eventually it won't be good in the deck. Giria, yeah, I'll take the strength. Sorry, I'll take the Sapphire Key there over the strength, just because strength doesn't do anything for me in that position. Do I well-laid plans Wraith Form, then hold bullet time, or do I well-laid plans bullet time, then hold Wraith Form? No, Wraith Form needs to be played this turn no matter what, right? So bullet time get more or less impactful later? More. Yeah, unfortunately, I had to play bullet time that turn or I was already going to lose this fight. Dang it. I think that was probably actually too big of a risk. Getting the Corpse Explosion in the sand is pretty useful, though that's pretty much exactly what I was hoping for. Although, unfortunately, looks like I'm not going to be able to play any attacks this turn. Hopefully I have a lot of defense available. Well, I mean, I kind of do, yeah. It's working out. Say rest after this as well, so it looks like I would be able to get completely back on track for the rest of the floor. Hell yeah! I actually legitimately thought that was probably the end of the battle, by the way. There's our first dodge and roll. Finally managed to pick it up. Wraith Form upgraded. Art of War. If you don't play any attacks in your turn, gain an extra energy next turn. Well, that matters a lot to us because oftentimes we play no attacks ever. That's also more incentive to cut the rest of the Banes from the deck now as well. Catalyst. Alright, I guess. It's unlikely to have any effect for us, though. Yeah, kind of fine with just playing all of these. Just want to get the enemies vulnerable to being poisoned. I got enough turns of vulnerability. Sorry, invulnerability, rather. I should be fine. There we go, see? That'll have us done. Lovely. So the boss on this floor is the Clockwork Automaton. Probably not another deflect anymore. I think we're done with taking those. Okay, hang on. I actually can go for this. Double dash is okay, but I would want the Enchiridion almost certainly. Norris Codex at the end of your turn. Shuffle 1 or 3 random cards into your discard pile. Sorry, into your draw pile, rather. And you may, rather than you definitely shuffle. Damn it. This is very hopeful for early powers here. I may want to leg sweep Poison Stab. It's just to try and get as many artifacts off the enemy as possible. Yeah. The other option is to... Oh, God. Put another bullet time in the deck? Probably not. Holding this one. The other option would have been to develop as much block as I possibly could have that turn to hold with a blur. Yeah, I'm about to take my first hit. I'm okay with it. Malaise. That's interesting. We should probably take a copy of that. Hey, and it gets stolen. Damn it. I was trying to protect against Corpse Explosion getting stolen, actually, but kind of ended up working out in the end. No, I'm going to hard pass those and keep the footwork. Great. Okay, so both the chumps are dead this turn. Footwork, leg sweep, and I guess I'll deflect as well. Wasn't strictly speaking necessary. I'll hold the defensive card. Although I do think the premium I was associating with defensive cards prior is no longer really part of them. This is really sad. Like, I could play bullet time and so many things this turn, but I'm looking at that melee is just like, oof. No, it's everything. You just play everything this turn. Because I get to keep almost all of the block because of the calipers anyway. The enemy gets so many negative effects on them. That's great as well. We have the intangibility through the turn that they're using Hyper Beam. They're going to be stunned the turn after. They're probably not around for much longer afterwards. It's all gravy, baby. All right, good. If we can find a copy of Catalyst to top off the deck, maybe a couple of removals, that'd be lovely. I'm not sure how this deck fares against the Heart. I suspect quite poorly. Due to its over-reliance on leg sweep, I think. Malaise held for the right time against the Heart because the Heart ends up purging the negative strength, like uniquely. The Heart can do their purge on the negative strength that you give them below a certain area and then just get back to the same amount of strength they originally would have had. So for that reason, like, having well-laid plans as well as Piercing Wail in the deck is basically as effective as having Malaise in the deck against the Heart. So I feel like I probably hard passed there. Finally! Yikes! Runic Pyramid is obviously actually really interesting here. The fact that we get to keep all cards in hand, hold the bullet time until the right time, do that, just have a really thin deck that we're going through. Ooh, hang on. Hang on, is that actually what we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so it's 2 hand size. So we would have needed like another bullet time for this to really go off. We can't do draw after we play bullet time either, so we can only do draw before bullet time. It's not Runic Pyramid. Maybe if we still had the possibility of getting energy in the future. But we do have Art of War, and we can get Runic Dodecahedron online with the Regal Pillow relatively easily, and possibly even keep it online. Screw it, I'm trying it. This is a run of screw it, let's try it. Like, within the realm of safety, in that it is a sealed draft run, it is within a pretty well-established archetype. It's using things that are good largely, but I don't think are going to be good in this certain circumstance. It's a low-grade experimentation. Well, we didn't even have full HP yet anyway, so it's fine. There's another bullet time for the deck. Lovely. Here's our first. Just gonna bullet time and then play, like, I think all of them? It's definitely not necessary to play all of them. I'm going to, though. Because if they manage to live eventually through the effect of all of this, then you know what? Well played to you. You've won. That should do it. As much as I'm trying to use Chrysalis, I have never been in a position where I can actually make use of it. Damn it. I could take the Writhe and then remove that in the next space. That would get me to full HP. I don't think I do that. Ooh, Lee's Waffle. Upon pickup, raise your max HP by 7 and heal all of your HP. There's also Sundial here, though. Every 3 times you shuffle your draw bar, gain 2 energy, as well as the gambling chip at the start of each combat. Discard any number of cards and then draw that many. I kind of want to go Sundial, Footwork, Escape Plan. Yeah. And Piercing Wail. That's probably the last defensive card I take. Because, yeah, I am finding myself in a lot of positions where I'm doing just nothing. Just nothing's happening on my turn. It is largely just directly that we don't have energy. Which is an unfortunate part of it. Yeah, I feel like I probably overestimated the impact that the bullet time was going to be able to have here. Because the bullet time, like, in a 26-card deck, sure, we're drawing 6 cards a turn. I am maximum, like, 4-ish turns from my bullet time. And that's if I can clear other cards out of my hand in the meantime until I get it. Which isn't guaranteed, trust me. And somehow I have to hold my own until such a point. That's the real kicker. Keeping myself alive until we actually get the ability to play it. The longer a fight goes on, the far better we are. It's just getting there. Oh, you already have it on you. Sweet. I was wondering why the Orb Walker in the front line didn't yet have the Corpse Explosion on them. I was still digging for it by that point. Expertise is a little bit of draw, but it's not good draw in a Root Pyramid deck. Okay. This looks a lot more promising to start with. Deflect Adrenaline. I do want Chrysalis to go off on the turn that my other thing goes off. One sec. Yeah, I do want Chrysalis to go off on the turn that I play the bullet time, because then the hand after the bullet time is quite likely to also have some value cards in it, because it's got a lot of 0-cost cards that I might be able to play. I'm going to burst Chrysalis, actually. Well, there's a Catalyst in there as a result. God, the results of the Chrysalis when we've actually managed to play it out have been really unimpressive. I mean, hang on. We do 30 more damage here. Yeah, you can just go for the kill. Crippling Cloud's too expensive. I'll take the extra dodge and roll. I don't know why. I shouldn't be taking extra dodge and rolls anymore. Great. Totally fine with this. At the very least, we have bullet time in the opening hand. We should be able to either defend ourselves, if not kill most enemies next turn. And we have the intangibility on our back just in case. Great. So some things like Piercing Whale probably don't make sense to be played here, but all the rest of it just goes out. Okay, let's go for... Takes all 3 of mine to kill a target. Oh, no, wait, it doesn't take all 3 of mine to kill a target. Never mind, we're fine. So... There we go. Because now that target is going to be affected by the Noxious Fumes at the start of the next turn. The 2 bottom targets just murder themselves against me. And now I have this Bane in hand to start targeting the other dagger with, if need be. That said, this Corpse Explosion makes need not be. Well-laid plans ought to be removed from this deck. That's something I hadn't considered, but it's a point well made. All right, let's set up the Wraith Form, draw it, and immediately play it. I think like the rest of the fight is just everyone refocuses their damage on the Reptomancer. All that it could be. And I guess I got enough free block next turn for maybe holding excess with Calipers the turn after where I'm not intangible. Very, very long shots for useful plays, but I don't know. When I'm feeling this kind of unsteady about the possible success of a deck, I'm happy to make it. Happy Flower, thank you. That's an extra energy relic. So we are getting some energy relics out here. The sundial has become a bit of a problem with the way that the deck has changed. Part of it getting thicker, part of it being that the deck has also just gotten a lot slower. Sorry, no, a lot quicker, rather. It's slower to play individual turns, but it's quicker in individual fights. It's got to be the rest. I wish it wasn't, but it has to be. Too likely we get into this position and then just die to an enemy that really ought not harm us. I guess I'll take Cat Gamble. It's a way for me to try and quickly get back to a bullet time. Alright, Cat Gamble then. Flip into... Hell yeah. It's a good bullet time. Bullet time's out a Noxious Fumes. 2 Deadly Poisons go next, as well as the Corpse Explosion. Leg Sweep for good fun. Both Piercing Whales can probably afford to go. They're not really that great in this deck. Hey! We did manage to find a Catalyst as well. Lovely. Nuri's Codex and the Chrysalis have been providing a lot of catalysts. I will say that much. Much appreciated game. You're really looking out for me. Okay. There's 2 catalysts as well as Wraithform in the same hand. There's also just Cal Gamble here. I'm gonna do Cal Gamble actually. Then burst this backflip. Looking for cards for this bullet time to actually affect. And then I will make sure that I am never ever going to take damage and stock the enemy up with a bunch of their own. Lovely. I mean, I have two more turns of intangibility, so I should just be hitting end turn constantly. But I've got to remember to make my Nuri's choice. Mango, raise max HP by 14. Snacko Skull. Whenever you apply poison, apply one additional poison. Well, that's obviously incredible for us. Fossilized Helix. Prevent the first time you lose HP each combat. Also really important for us. You can upgrade all cards. You can only heal. I mean, most of this deck is not upgraded. I think I take that. The deck becomes so much more effective if I can hit those upgrades, and that'll do it. Yeah, for 10 more max HP, that's fine. So I'm no longer ever getting the benefit from Ring Dodecahedron, but I'm okay with that now. My concern about that is long past. So if I weaken one of you, your damage goes down by 3, 6, it's 15. Yeah, so I still lose my buffer unless I use Deflect as well. So then I'll target the mainliner instead, I guess. As well as probably throw out a Deadly Poison. So throw out the Deadly Poison on the healthier target there, just in case the Corpse Explosion is in my next hand. Wraithform will do. I mean, heck, it'll have to. Yeah, we were really reliant on seeing either that or the Corpse Explosion in that hand. A bit, you know, not particularly safely reliant on that, rather. All right. Both those top ones are killing themselves this turn as well. So should be able to kind of guilt-free throw out all of the rest of my cards. Always love that they're going to be donating extra poison to the Reptomancer. They donate their own poison and an extra one from the Snecko Skull. Yeah. I was trying to think whether or not there was any reason to escape plan that turn or not. Guess there's no real difference for us. Not with all the effects we have active. Yeah, at this point, I very much should just be able to watch the Reptomancer die next turn. And even if I couldn't, I actually probably would have the HP to just wait. Or block, rather, just to wait. Calipers is so damn strong. So is the letter opener. Start of each turn. Sorry. Every time you play 3 skills in a single turn, deal 5 damage to all enemies. Real powerful one, that. Okay. Corpse Explosion, Bane, and a Deflect here. So I'm going to be going for that in particular because Bullet Time and Wraithform are going to be necessary later on in this combat, and to use them this early is just to squander them. Okay, this is probably where Bullet Time goes out. Especially because I already kind of retain... Because I kind of already retain the block from the Calipers, I'm happy to use all of those on the same turn. Noxious Fumes, Leg Sweep. Oh, don't even have the ability to do all of that. Footwork, and Noxious Fumes then. Fine. Next turn is just going to be Wraithform, basically. Wraithform, and then we wait. I think, in fact, I have enough block. Yeah, I do. That it's just going to cover me constantly, so I can just spam the E button, click the middle of the screen for the Nilrees resolution. Wait this one out. It's another speed potion. Ooh, it can be good. Taking a second Wraithform. I mean, like, I definitely should have, but I'm not doing it. I'm done with that. Piercing Whale. I can't even use those both this turn. That's tragic. Alright, I think I will use the Speed Potion this turn. Hopefully I manage to get the Noxious Fumes out soon. There's the Noxious Fumes at the very least. Do I bullet time, or do I just play the sand without bullet time? Because it's Footwork, Noxious Fumes, Dodge and Roll. That literally... Oh, hang on. Never mind. I'm fine. Footwork, Dodge and Roll. Now I'm actually fully defended, rather. Actually, I'm going to Noxious Fume Summon Double Piercing Whale here. I'm just going to try and get an enemy to a point where I can hit one of them with Corpse Explosion really, really soon. That'll be well enough for me. Okay. So now if I Deadly Poison the backliner, I can backflip and bullet time after the escape plan. And this is the most impactful it can be. Lovely. Do I cast the rest of those? So I can get 5 damage AoE by casting a backflip, as well as 14 block to carry with the calipers. I guess it's whether or not I need the Wraith form. That's what I'm really considering here. I don't think I need it, but I will keep it as a safety blanket. I'm only comfortable making a certain amount of bad decisions, and I feel like I've already made enough of them in this episode. Let's make sure we save mana on it if we are going to be using it. Turns out that's a strong no on the whether or not we're going to be using Wraith form at all. Happy to see it. Well, I guess I could rectify that and just use it right now before the end of the fight. But where would be the fun in that? Alright, now this is Ascension 20 as well, so it is worth noting that we do have another elite after this to fight. The Awakened one is obviously the harshest of the possibilities for us. I cannot... I actually can't believe that we managed to dodge the Awakened one in particular. That's real lucky for us. Just remarkable. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I want to be able to play at least 3 cards next turn, so... Concentrate's also kind of useful for us. Not against this enemy in particular, but just overall it should be. Alright, let's... Dash. Bouncing Flask. Now, the enemy is going to be 2 strength higher. So currently they're 25% down, so 32. So 32 is usually what they would be doing right now. So they'd be doing 34. 34 with a 25% reduction in this game is half of 17 rounded up. So it's 9. So 9 from 24. A 9 from 32. No, it shouldn't be a 9 from 32. Damn it! How would it be a higher percentage? No, it would be a higher percentage because it's 2 increased. Right, so it's a 9 from 34, actually. 23. Again, that doesn't make sense. Effectively, it's saying, or rather, my working right now is saying that if I do this and Corpse Explode the enemy, I'll take less damage from their attack in the turn. But never mind, I was wrong. It went to 25. I just needed it not to be more than 25, so I'm actually comfortable with where it landed. Piercing Whale is obviously ridiculous here. Okay, if I'm discarding 3 cards here, it's this. No, that, because I can play these 2 this turn. There we go. Beautiful. These means only 3 cards played next turn, but at the very least, I hold the excess cards. Runic Pyramid helps us with that. 1, 2, 3. That'll have to do. Throw another leg sweep in the deck, just because we're already kind of comfortable. Should be enough to guarantee us a win here. One thing that will forever be a concern for us is that after the Time Eater does eventually split, life becomes real bad. Should I bullet time and then poison stab dash? I think so. Just so that I can keep the rest of the cards with me at the same time. Maybe poisons giantly from that. Unfortunately, we don't have the ability to finish them off this turn. I mean, I should probably just not really mess with my hand at all, right? No, I guess it can get better. And of course, I can block extra. There's a leg sweep still left in the deck, so I don't have to take the Crippling Cloud. That would have been a Crippling Cloud taken exclusively for the access to weakness. Do I want to Storm of Steel and then start throwing Shivs here? It'll do no damage, but it'll end the turn. Right. I'm going to concentrate, get rid of Bane, Storm of Steel, and yes, Piercing Whale. Because they were cluttering up our hand just a little bit much. There's going to be another giant turn of applying poison to the enemy somewhere around here. Oof. With all of those adrenalines, I know there's a ridiculous turn coming up. I just don't know whether or not we're really going to be able to do anything against the Time Eater with it. I think what I'm actually just going to do is exhaust a lot of them right now. Yeah, there's no need to mess around. I have a ridiculous amount of block as well as a Wraithworm in hand just in case. It's time to do dumb things. Just because we can afford to. Like ending turns for absolutely no reason. Would I have even had lethal that turn? Heck, I actually wouldn't have, so it was not even worth playing anything that turn. Beautiful. All right, Heart. 24-29 is not bad. We can't have gone beyond perfect, although we got probably 1 perfect, I think. Wasn't the first floor. Wasn't the second floor either. Never mind, we probably got no perfects. Well, the only obvious thing here is Ghost in Jar. Heck, I should probably take the second one. They're really impactful. The Paper Crane there also would have been really, really good as well, but if we can only take one, we'll only take one. Maybe Poison Stab into Corpse Explosion here? I guess Corpse Explosion does stay with us regardless, so we can just hold it. Let's backflip. Yeah, it's not good. We're gonna need a bullet time or something like that. Come on. Oh, what is this? That's such an awful hand. Okay, so... So I get first have a Deadly Poison, the Spire Spear, then double Piercing Wail. But I don't want to get rid of the Piercing Wails just yet. Like, both of them, that is. Should I Ghost in a Jar? Okay, so Piercing Wail takes the enemy down to 4. I'm going to take 4 from the burn myself anyway, and then this gets completely negated. Never mind, we just use 1 Piercing Wail, it's fine. Oh, no. Upgrading Piercing Wail is it's not as effective as I thought it was going to be. I'll tell you that much. Damn it. It's entirely my bad, I just misread it. Thought it was 9. Not that that actually would have helped, by the way. I'd miscalculated a couple different ways at the same time. Let's go for a Deflect, Deadly Poison, and a Backflip to have as many cards as possible to hit with this bullet time. I remember the escape plan first, though. Alright. Now, at this point, I think we're pretty comfortable just gunning for the Spire Spear. That'll take both of you out. And, of course, we have our intangibility set up, finally. Yeah, I know. I should have taken the extra Wraith form from before. I know. Hindsight's 20/20. Although I will tell you, I had the immediate hindsight as soon as I left that space. Like, why wouldn't I take another one? Dead Branch, whenever you source a card, add a random card to your hand. You know what? No, I'm not inviting that chaos into my life right now. I don't want my whole hand to be full of cards that I can't play at all, ever. Piercing Wails, both turning up at the right time, by the way. Hell yes. You have to respect that. You have to. I'm using my first Ghost in a Jar here to save me some block as well as our Charger buffer. So I feel like that's probably going to be pretty impactful later. I'll put another bullet time in the deck just because the deck is kind of thick and we don't have access to enough calculated gambles to constantly keep refreshing the entire thing. Yeah. I mean, I could just hold this turn. No, I'm fine. I'm more than happy to have the rest of the Chrysalis stuff back in the deck just in case. Just in case it's incredible. And obviously there's not much of a deck size left, right? So it was going into a pretty empty deck, meaning I was quite likely to draw it very soon. Let's burst a Deadly Poison here so that I can make sure that my Piercing Wail connects. And then I think I'll set up a Wraith form. Always useful to have at least one Terra active. Still haven't managed to find a single Catalyst, though. Do I just stop right now so I don't have to use my Piercing Wail? I do. And so that I don't have to use my buffer as well. Okay, unfortunately I need the escape plan to get a skill right now, otherwise I'm about to take my buffer and damage. Cool, thank you. Always glad when things like that work out. There's Catalyst, finally. Been waiting on it for ages. Happy to hit both of these leg sweeps here and leave the bullet time and wraith forms both in hand. I'll use the more expensive bullet time, actually. And then take a Nightmare. Beautiful. So Nightmare is either for Wraith Form or for Catalyst, whichever we're finding easier to hit at the time. I'm going to set up on bullet time and get that in the hands. Just for later. I mean, at this rate, it does look like we probably won't even need the Catalyst. Still nice to have, though. Nightmare that Catalyst. Throw the Catalyst out. Yeah, the enemy's already dead at the end of the next turn. God damn it. At the very least, this deck did manage to find enough of its defense and then way more and take out the heart here in Ascension 20. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Slay the Spire. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves. This has been a sealed deck in Ascension 20 here with the Silent. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.